What's going on, boys and girls? What's up, world? Austin John Plays here, and today I want to talk about 40 brand new ways that you could play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, I'm not gonna lie, some of these are gonna be a fun variation of a way to play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and some are gonna be a little bit more of a challenging way to play it. You could also choose two or several of these new ways to play in the same playthrough. Generally, you want to avoid or find a way to do all 4 Divine Beasts, and also as many shrines as you can before going after Ganon. I've also given all of these some really fun nicknames, so you could kind of pretend that they're achievements, since, you know, Nintendo still doesn't believe in those. Putting all this together took quite a while, and we released it on the 32nd anniversary of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So just for all this hard work, I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a like. It really helps support the channel. It takes you 2 seconds while I'm rambling, and with no further ado, let's get into it. Number 1 is going to be a 3-heart only run. This includes no temporary hearts or Mipha's Grace to be active. You're also allowed to swap for some hearts to get the Master Sword, but then exchange it right back at the statue at Hateno Village. Number 2 is to remove the safety net of what happens when you run out of hearts. You die. So no Mipha's Grace or fairies to help prevent that ever inevitable death. This is a bit more of a challenging one, and a little bit more for people who are pretty experienced with the game, is no extended stamina. This includes temporary stamina, so you're going to want to have to be real choosy on what cliffs you want to scale. I also recommend upgrading your climbing gear, because that set bonus is really helpful. Or, forget about climbing altogether. No climbing is allowed. You can run up a mountainside, but as soon as you grab a wall, you have to tap B immediately to let go. Although I guess you could run up almost every mountain thanks to a video by this one handsomely bearded YouTuber. How about you take away the 4 most overpowered things you have in the game? The champion's abilities. So no help from Daruk, Urbosa, Mipha, or Ravioli. Ravioli is not going to give you the Galeoli. Number 6 is Pro Mode. I know it seems a bit silly, but enabling this in the menu, you get so much more screen space, and you're also blind to the weather, the time of the day, the mini-map, so it's kind of like you're actually adventuring in the wild. Ah, what a breath of fresh air. Let's kick it up a notch for Pro Mode, and never ever hit the minus button. This means you're essentially never going to look at your map. You're going to have to tell from the environment where you are. It also makes you appreciate the terraforming quite a bit more. A fun twist of gameplay style would be no item pickups. Basically, if you see something on the ground, don't touch it, that's not yours. Every item that you're going to get in the game has to come from a chest, or you have to purchase it. It's up to you if you want to include ore deposits and not being allowed to touch them. Number 9 is a good old Pacifist playthrough. The only enemies you can defeat are the Blights and any other enemies that are absolutely necessarily needed to advance the game. Have fun trying to do a shrine with a Guardian Scout slowly chipping away at a quarter heart with its little laser shot. If the full Pacifist run is a little too brutal for you, you could do a run that you're only allowed to attack by doing a shield block. This might even be possible to beat the Blights with somehow. Someone let me know in the comment section down below. If you ever played most RPGs or Minecraft or anything of the sort, you might be familiar with this. Drop your inventory on death. So, if you die, you have to drop all of your weapons, shields, and bows every time that you get that game over screen and you reload from an autosave. This is a fun one. This is called Eventide. So basically what you want to do is one whole tower region, and when you're done, drop your entire inventory. This makes your plotting of what to get from every region very, very important, and getting all the shrines there before moving on is an absolute must. This one is quite simple. Don't spend any rupees. Yes, people may call you frugal, or thrifty, or pennywise, or just flat out cheap, but don't spend any of those precious rupees that you found. Number 14 is a survivalist, in which you're not allowed to buy or sell items to or from anyone. In fact, try not even talking to anyone. Only Impa, and maybe the old man. And this pretty much means that the only armor that you're going to get in the game is going to be from chests. You're not allowed to buy it from anyone, because that involves talking to people, and I'm a little too socially awkward to talk to people. This one is a slightly different way to play your game, in which no horse can be registered at a stable. This won't impact you too much unless you also mix it with number 16, which is no fast travel. Everywhere you want to go in the game, you have to go on foot. This will be very interesting because you'll start to see more NPCs and more random generated events take place. You might even see some more weird game physics stuff happen. You only have one life, Link. One life to live, one life to die, just like the rest of us. If you get a game over screen, that's it. Game over. I recommend not mixing this with the 3-heart challenge unless you're that hardcore. I'm not going to be focusing on playstyles that affect your inventory throughout the game. All that armor you got, well, you're not allowed to upgrade it. Only stock armor for you, so no unlocked abilities for this set. And the nice part is, you'll be saving a lot of rupees and you don't need to pay those price gouging fairies. Number 19 is a full-on Nudist run. Not like that, not how you're imagining it. It does take a very skilled player to do a game without the Zora armor for going up waterfalls, so that's one piece you're allowed only when necessary. But without resistance from the cold or heat, you're going to be making a lot of tonics. Also, you can get the Gerudo outfit only to go into town. But if all of that is a little too annoying with all the tonic crafting, then you could do a handicap and you're also allowed jewelry from Gerudo Town since that's technically not clothing. Want to put that giant amiibo collection of yours to good use? The only armor you're allowed to wear in your playthrough must be obtained from amiibo drops. While we're doing all this amiibo scanning, how about the only items you can pick up in your inventory can be from amiibos, and don't go save spamming either. Or perhaps you only have one amiibo. Great, you can use only the items and or armor from it. Now that's a little bit more hardcore. You know what really grinds my gears? Getting to a rare, far-off place and I thought there was an awesome item for me. But no, there's only a rock with a little forest-dwelling creature under it who hands me his poop. So no poop. The stock inventory you have, stick with it and never increase it. And the nice part is, you can just keep Hestu's Maraca in your inventory the entire playthrough. It's so much more satisfying than a giant poop. Number 24 is no shields. You're not allowed to pick up or use any shields for any reason. No blocking, no deflecting, no outfit customization, and of course, no shield surfing. Maybe you're not a fan of full-on frontal attacks. How about playing like an assassin? The only kills you're allowed to do are going to be stealth kills. Also, you find yourself traveling at night a lot more. You could also dye the Sheikah stealth armor white and gray and sort of do a cosplay of Ezio Auditore from Assassin's Creed. You know who's a good boy? Wolf Link is a good boy. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. You should let him come with you on your adventure. He's man's best friend. Have Wolf Link with you the entire game. This means soon as you leave a shrine and he despawned, you resummon him, and you never, ever, ever let him die. So just feed him lots of steaks. He likes steaks. He's a good boy. The next one is also a way to make your playstyle a little bit more immersive. You think that while you're fighting that moblin, he's just gonna wait for you to strip down and change your clothes mid-fight? Nah, dog. So for this one, once you enter a fight, you can't pause your game, or change clothes, or recover, or any of that. You can still use D left and D right to change weapons, but just essentially no pausing the game. You real good with timings and predicting enemy movements, man? You real good? Then the only attacks you can do are flurry attacks. Yeah. Obviously the enemies that you cannot flurry, such as Keese or Choo-Choos, well, they're not even really anything to worry about. Pretty much all the Moblins, the Lizalfos, the Bokoblins, flurry attack, all of them. Now this is going to handicap a few shrines, but try doing an entire playthrough with no bows whatsoever. You're gonna get a real fond appreciation for the spears with the long throw upgrade, I guarantee it. Number 30 is no upgraded runes, and that's because your Sheikah Slate is a very old model and it's not compatible with the new operating system. So because of that, Apple doesn't support it anymore. This means that you won't be able to have those strong bombs or freeze enemies, or worst of all, you won't be able to use the camera app. No selfies for Link. Now this is a real fun one. You're only allowed to play with one class of weapon. Just pick one class and that's all you could use. One-handed swords or two-handed swords or spears. But if a single class of weapon is a little too mainstream for you, you want to do something a little bit more niche, you magnificent ramen-eating hipster you, then let's take it one step further. You're only allowed to have one single type of weapon, such as rusty weapons only, or only ancient weapons, only amiibo weapons, only axes, I like to call that one lumberjack, flame-based weapons, or ice-based, or electric-based, or Yiga weapons only, or household item and farming tools only enemy weapons such as Bokoblin weapons, weapons or only Lizalfos, or stall weapons like Moblin arms, tribe weapons only such as Gerudo weapons or Zora weapons. The list really goes on, and I know I could have filled the list with like 20 different types of weapons, but that'd be bloatware, and we don't like bloatware. Right, you PC master race creating hipster you? And if all those categories of weapons is a little too confusing for you, well, my head hurt just trying to write it and read it out loud. How about just nice simple bows only? I'm pretty sure you could do it. You'll probably just need to stock up on arrows quite a bit. But wait, I think I could complicate bows too. So now, you're not allowed to use regular arrows, only elemental and bomb arrows. Good thing I know a video by a guy who shows you how to stock up on those arrows even without glitches. Wow, that guy is awesome. You should drop him a sub if you haven't already. Number 35 on our list is going to be a bomber, man. So, let's have a little chaos. Only bombs and bomb arrows are allowed, nothing else. Just make sure you avoid rainy areas with those bomb arrows. Let's take a look at all those things that Link shoves into his rat hole. The first way to switch things up is you're only allowed to eat uncooked food. In fact, no cooking at all. This immediately makes it so you won't have options of buffs from cooked food or tonics. Let's be a little bit more health conscious than eating all that uncooked chicken there, Link. How about let's go vegetarian? So no birds, or meat, or fish, or snails, or crabs, and no tonics from bugs either. This is technically called a lacto-ovo vegetarian diet, as you can still have animal byproducts such as eggs and milk. Have fun with a diet of mushrooms and mighty thistles. You know what? Let's go full vegan. Everything that vegetarians abide by, but also no animal byproducts. This includes no milk or butter, and no dragon parts either, so forget about the 3 spring shrines. Also, a quick note, a vegan friend of mine said that honey is fine because it's not really animal byproducts, it's more like insect vomit. So I guess that's fine. Also, we're gonna consider monsters as monsters and not animals, so I guess monster extract is alright, although I'm still not technically too sure about what it is. Oh, and that reminds me, you also really shouldn't be using the snow quill armor, or the climbing gear, or the barbarian gear, or the radiant gear, or the snow boots, or the sand boots, or any of the wild sets, or any of the Link sets, or any armor that has any animal parts, or bones, or leather, etc. Wow. Going vegan is harder than I thought. Make sure you tell everyone that you're going vegan every single time someone says, "How are you playing Breath of the Wild?" Also, you're still allowed to eat rocks and trees, since that's pretty much what vegans eat anyways. You know what's even more hardcore than being vegan? No food at all, only tonics. Full cleansed diet for you. The nice part is, all the food can be sold to Beetle and buy small insects and animals from him. Here's a helpful hint, the only tonic that's going to recover hearts is cooked with a hardy lizard, native to the Gerudo Desert and the Necluda Sea. Now I know what you're thinking, it's not hardcore enough, bro. And you're right, no food or tonics. The only way to recover hearts is sleeping in a bed, or collecting spirit orbs or hearts in divine beasts. Obviously you can't mix this one with no armor because you wouldn't last 2 seconds in Death Mountain without bursting into flames. And for a bonus one, I'm gonna call it 41, I'm gonna call it Linkle. As soon as you can, buy the Gerudo outfit and wear that for the rest of the game. Guys, that's going to be wrapping up 40 brand new ways for you to play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. If you beat it, if you're an absolute ace at the game, pick up a few of these. Mark it down as this is the type of run that you're doing and have a lot of fun. If you haven't done so, drop a like on the video, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Until next time, Austin John out.